Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sharon Spurlock, the Senior Director of Family Education at the St. Louis Arc, and I'm delighted to be with you once again this week for our Q&A session. Today, as you can see, we'll be talking to folks from the St. Louis County Library about their Community Autism Expo, which they've been running since 2018, but it's getting bigger and better this year. And I thank you again for being here today. We're going to start off with some introductions, and I'm going to start with Rebecca Clark and have her tell you a little bit about herself and her role at the library.
Thank you, Sharon. Yes, my name is Rebecca Clark. I've worked at St. Louis County Library for almost 11 years in a number of different managerial roles. And currently, I'm the manager of adult services here at St. Louis County Library. My department, we help to coordinate a good number of adult programs throughout the entire system. And we work with a lot of different partners in our region. When Adam started this program in 2018. I wasn't in this particular role, but I'm glad to have worked with Adam here for a few years now. So thank you, Adam.
I am Adam Rosen. I am a library associate at the Parkview branch of the St. Louis County Library. And I have been in that position, if you can believe it, since August of 2002. I am also a community activist, an autism advocate, and I'm also a composer and a published writer. I understand that the Autism Expo in its current format is going to be in 2025. It's going to be the largest expo of its kind to date. What people in the community need to be aware of is that it has only been a few years. It's been 6 years, minus 2 years where we were not meeting, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, like everyone who was interrupted by that. But within a matter of 6 years, we have grown organically from less than 11 service providers, service agencies participating in our first expo to over 40 for 2025. And in terms of attendance, our expo has grown from slightly more than 100 in 2018 to 217 in 2024. And in 2025, our expo will have shifted to its third location, to its largest location at the Clark Family Branch. And I am beyond humbled. I am sad the gumption, and for everyone who knows the Yiddish word chutzpah, which means bravery, to have had the vision of wanting to do something at the county library, within the county library system, wanting to create an outreach program specifically for young adults on the autism spectrum and with other kinds of disabilities and challenges. Because in society, even a matter of 6 or 7 years ago, there still wasn't yet the mainstream institutional awareness that once you age past high school, if you have any kind of disability that impedes your functioning, you do not have the kind of educational and institutional support that you get in school. And you are basically at the mercy of your family support. And at the time in 2018, I understood that, wait a minute, I work at the county library. I could do something about this. And I'm going to explain in a moment why I wanted to do something about it. But my vision has literally manifested into reality in 6 years. And it blows my mind how literally every aspect of our Autism Expo has turned into reality, because it's exactly what I envisioned. The outreach proposal that I took to my managers was creating a creating an outreach program that introduces the most relevant resources that the county library already offers, and which resources would be most helpful and most relevant to young adults transitioning after high school. And my managers were very, very supportive. They supported me from the moment that I asked them to have a meeting. And it just grew organically from that. And the first expo happened, 6, 7 months really from the time that I proposed it. I was wondering, as I'm sure you all are, who was going to come to the expo, especially because we hadn't had mainstream media attention brought to that initial expo. So it was, even throwing the first expo itself was a bit of a risk, because the library system is always there to provide opportunities for new programming. But when you start the very first one, you never really know how many people are actually going to attend, how many people want to take the invitation to come on board. So, we had to hit the ground running with no real roadmap. And that first year felt like, taking a real risk, but it was exciting. Oh my gosh, was it exciting. Attendance was over 150 people. We over exceeded our estimation that year. We assumed that we would be lucky if we got 100, and we got 150 parents and loved ones on the spectrum and their caretakers and supporters. Oh my God, that was such an amazing experience. We had less than a dozen, it was actually 11 service agencies, including Midwest Autism Project, LifeBridge Partnership of St. Louis, the Judavine Center for Autism, St. Louis Art, of course, Easter Seals, Pathways to Independence, Creative Concepts for Living, Giant Steps of St. Louis, the Succeed program at UMSL, Special School District of St. Louis County, and Voc Rehab of St. Louis. And the reference department of St. Louis County Library also had a reference table there as well. And at the time, a reporter from KSDK who had a son on the autism spectrum found out about our expo and managed to get us on the April 8th segment of 5 on Your Side that year. And word spread like wildfire. In 2019, we had a little bit less of attendance. There were some reasons for that I don't need to go into in 2019, but we increased our service agencies to 13 service agencies that year in 2019. And we had about 78 people in attendance that year. But we did a lot of networking, and networking is vital for finding opportunities that you never knew existed. So networking is a skill that we all practice, every day at the library where we work. And networking is the way to go. In 2021, we had the COVID pandemic. In 2022, I was floored that Rebecca Clark of Adult Services messaged me one day out of the blue and said, I heard that you did your Autism Expo, and would you be interested in bringing it back through a virtual program? I was so excited because I never wanted to see the expo die. I wanted it to continue and grow. And I never knew that, a virtual expo was going to be, just as appreciated, but it was. And so we had a wonderful 2022 expo done virtually, although I must say it was not nearly as fun. It was not nearly as fun that year in 2022. Then in 2023, we had over 120 people and a dozen service agencies, and we were back at Parkview for the 2023 Expo. And then in 2024, we finally got the push for a larger venue. And so we had a phenomenal expo in 2024 at the Florissant Valley branch. At the 2024 expo, we had 217 in attendance. We more than doubled. We more than doubled our attendance level, and we had 20 service agencies. Oh my gosh. It got so crowded, everyone, that we had to set aside an area just for the kids, because we had parents that were telling us, geez, this is wonderful that you guys are doing this expo, but it's so loud for my, we need to find ways of, having some quiet room. And we did provide some sensory room for decompressing. And so we'll talk about that later. But, I don't want to say we were a victim of our success, but we certainly knew that we had to go even bigger for the future. And so some of the service agencies that we had, I've listed here. It has been a thrill, not only seeing the increase in attendance, but the increase in community resources, wanting to share their resources and come on board. So that has been as impressive to me as the increase in attendance. One of my favorite activities at the expo that I put together, even in its first year, was creating the handy dandy autism book display. And what we do is I gather the most relevant books and DVDs, movies, books, you name it, about young adults, children of all ages on the spectrum. Basically, the meeting people where they are, coming into, some of the people that come to the expo have never stepped foot in the county library, or they haven't stepped foot in years. And so it is providing so many opportunities to share the most helpful material that the library has to offer for our population of young adults that are transitioning. It just gives me thrills and chills just thinking about. But what I needed to do was literally look at the most relevant material in the county library's catalog and check them out, gather them together, and display them. And so this is an example of how to bring the resources that the library system offers to the community right then and there. Meeting people where they're at. I mean, that's one thing that we do so well. The county library system does so well. I mean, we're really an example of the very mission of the county library. And so my autism book display, it gets so much traffic every year. And every year I find more books that are being published about young adults on the autism spectrum. Basically books about people on the spectrum, people about people who are, attending the expo and seeing society meeting people's needs, increasingly finding that people are becoming aware, institutions are becoming aware of the needs of young adults, because it's so vital that nobody slip through the cracks. And so every year I see more books being published, more movies being produced. And it's such a great opportunity working at the library to see all of this material being produced and being disseminated out into the world. I want to share that my public advocacy goes beyond the library system. My first interview was published in this anthology, which I've highlighted for you. This anthology is called Our Autistic Lives: Personal Accounts from Autistic Adults Around the World, age 20 to 70 plus. Edited by Alex Ratcliffe. This anthology that my interview is in is the very first, to my knowledge, it's the very first published anthology devoted exclusively to the lives of autistic adults across the lifespan. I don't know if the county library yet has a copy of this book in our catalog, but I will do my very best to make sure that it is included in our catalog in the future. This book is available commercially through websites such as Amazon.com. And you can read my interview in there. And we are honored to share with you all that the 2025 Expo will officially take place Saturday, April the 5th from 11 to 2 at the St. Louis County Library, Clark Family Branch. I can share with you that the library's website already has a preliminary ad for the expo itself, but it's just the initial one. We're going to be having advance notice of the Autism Expo in the weeks to come. So look out for that because we're getting ready to release the promotional material. We just haven't done that just yet. We are proud to announce that the 2025 Community Expo is going to have over 40 service agencies this year. We have more than doubled the number of service agencies participating in the expo. We are overjoyed to announce that this year's expo is going to have a food truck. This is the first year that we've ever had a food truck come on board, so look out for that. We are going to be having expanded activities throughout the expo this year, and we're going to be having, we took feedback from families with young adults and also kids and also even adults on the spectrum that came to the expo but had to leave a little early because it was so crowded with so many people that they just got overwhelmed. So what we're doing is we are responding to the needs of everyone on the spectrum. And so what we're going to be providing is we're going to be providing private areas and private rooms that you can go to if you want to come to the expo, but you want a little bit of downtime where you can decompress. So we're going to be having sensory decompression rooms available. We're also going to be giving away what are called sensory bags. And these are small bags filled with materials that the library is going to be sharing that you can take to accommodate your sensory needs, such as noise canceling headphones, a stress relief bags. That's just the tip of the iceberg, but we will be giving away these sensory bags that you can take with you. And we will also be sharing additional library resources at the Autism Expo that we hope that you can take with you and feel not merely welcome, but included at the library, and feel invited to want to become full-fledged members of the county library for years to come. So this is where we are right now, but who knows for the future.